Generation 1 nostalgia strikes back yet again in Series 2 of the War for Cybertron trilogy, Earthrise. Here we go with Starscream, coming right up. Hello to my fellow peeps and peepettes, and welcome back to the Spotlight Reviewing Station. I know it's been a while, but I had to take some time off to get things settled around here. With that said, I'm back to bring you our very first Transformers Earthrise action figure at the Spotlight Reviewing Station here with Starscream. Right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging first. As per take of every single video review on this channel, up close in your face. And here it's Earthrise, Starscream, Decepticon logo, Transformers logo, Ages 8 and Plus, Hasbro's logo, going up to the top where we got the Cartomy and the Misaligned Generations logo. On this side of the packaging here, which is it's a little dark, but I'm sure you can still make this out, we got a brand new image here, which is promoting Earthrise. As you can see, some Autobots, Decepticons, the Ark crashing to Earth, which in the previous wannabe poster, which I want, it was taking off from Cybertron. Now it's crashing to Earth. You can also see that the Nemesis is right there. We got Unicron hinted right there. And if you look at the top here, we got Galvatron in space. On this side of the packaging, we got lovely artwork of Starscream pointing at something, maybe some Decepticons giving them commands because Megatron's probably out of commission at this point. I don't know. Then again, it is Galvatron in space. And to the back of the packaging, we've got the computerized render form of Starscream in his jet mode and his robot mode. 30 steps of transformation and vice versa. There's our sad onion face. Hasbro's logo. Done with the packaging. Let's go ahead and move this out. We have a lovely backdrop that comes included with the box. We got a very nice glitched out Decepticon logo here with some scan looks at Earth and some other planets amongst the galaxy apparently. Down below that we've got that iconic symbol that was on the Decepticon packaging for Siege and another authentic Transformers logo. Also included with this backdrop is a small little red decoder here, which you just put right up to the screen here, and maybe you can make some of this stuff out, but for me I couldn't make anything out on this. I could not find any decoded messages, which I don't know, that's my problem. I'm sure something's here. Maybe you're picking it up better than my eyes can, but I just couldn't find anything. And I looked at this for like 10 minutes and all I could see was the same thing, only in red. Also included is a bunch of multi-languages for warning choking hazard apparently, and a set of instructions for Earthrise Starscream. And the instructions are very clean and understandable. As you can see, everything that's being moved around is in that teal color. Now we can take a look at Starscream in his Jet Earth mode, which looks impressive. This is definitely very much superior to the Siege figure which we got, which was a take on his Tetra Jet, which we never really saw in the G1 cartoon for Starscream, that is. But to bring you a side-by-side comparisons to get this going here, here's Thundercracker, who we did see in his Tetra Jet mode in Generation 1 for one episode. Starscream is way bigger than the Tetra Jet, which it should be. I mean, this is definitely an impressive looking jet. It does have its hindrance, unfortunately, when it comes to being completely accurate to what you would see from the model itself. We do not have any landing gear here. We've got only this right here, this piece, and these small little tabs right here, which is the only thing that keeps this figure from actually scraping any of the nice paint work on the body of the figure when doing this in its jet mode. So yeah, that's fine, I guess. I guess they couldn't find a way to execute any landing gear for this mode. So we do have the nice pinstriping here, as you can see, for the wings, which looks quite good compared to its Generation 1 cartoon counterpart. We also have some Decepticon symbol, which unfortunately in robot mode is going to be a little bit of a nuisance because they're going to be upside down for the wings, which kind of makes me wish that these were actually the other way around. We got a nice orange cockpit here where you can see we got some seats and even some computer bits here. And we got some nice blue here for the body all around for the fins, and of course right here for the forearms of the figure. And at the feet here, which are the thrusters in the back. stands out. It just makes this thing pop, and it is breathtaking. It's so good. Let's also say that the nice glossy red here is just that, very nice. I know some people have complained that the nose cone bit here is not painted, which I'm glad it's not, because this is actually more cartoon accurate. There was nothing here at the front. And here's a good look at the bottom all around. As you can see, we've got a robot kind of hiding in disguise, but this is pretty much Generation 1 accurate. If you actually go back and look at the transformation for the Seekers, it pretty much looked like this at the bottom. As you can also see, we got the null cannons for Starscream pegged up at the bottom of his wings here, where you do have multiple areas where they can be pegged in, like right here and here. And if you want to, you could also peg it on the top. Multiple ports everywhere around these figures. It's something that is pretty much in tradition with the Siege line. Alright, so moving on to transformation, let's go ahead and remove the null ray cannons. We'll get those out of the way. This one's pretty tight here, but there we go. Next thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and flip up these tail fins. Start by detaching the wings here, and sometimes they like to pop off on their own. It's just a little bit of an issue with this figure, but your results could be different. So this one doesn't really want to move, but it's supposed to. There we go, just like that. Get this one pegged back in. Like I said, this one has a tendency to pop off very easily. This one doesn't have that issue, which I'm okay with. Next thing to do is to come down here and flip up the crotch plate and then swing those down, pull on the legs, obviously the legs, and then you've got these pegs right here that's going to go into these tabs right here. We'll go ahead and do that now to complete the legs. Just like that. We'll just go ahead and swing this bit back. That will create the heel spur, and we'll flip the foot up. We'll repeat the same process on this side. Swing it down and then swing that up like so. Bring back down the crotch piece, and there we go. There's the legs for Starscream. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to pry the chest section open, which is easier said than done, especially if you got thumbnails, but I don't. But there we go, just like that. And we will swing out the arms just like that. There we go. Next, what we're going to do is we are going to take the entire front section of the jet and swing it forward like this, rotate it around, and then we're going to, on a double hinge, fold it back just like this, and it should clip right into place. It's lined up just right like so. There we go. Everything looks pretty good, and there we go, just like that. Next, what we're going to do is we'll take the entire nose cone section of the jet and untab it and swing it to the back on a double hinge like so. Go ahead and swing up the wings now all the way like so. Splay them out just a little bit because they do have their own hinge, which is pretty nice. Now, as for the arms, what we're going to do is swing down the hands, and we're going to open up this section here, which again is a little bit of a task here without some fingernails, but it can be done. So what we can do then is take this bottom section and try to untab it like so and swing this all forward. Bring this back in now and then swing that down, and there we go. There's one arm. Repeat the same process on this side. Sometimes you can actually pull down on the hand here and get it to pop open like so, and then we can swing this forward. Make sure that's lined up. Swing that down. Bring that down. And there we have the arms. Last thing we need to do is reapply the null ray cannons to the shoulders. Just like that. And at last, here we have the Transformers Earthrise Starscream in his robot mode, which is screaming Generation 1, as it definitely should. This hits every bit of nostalgia from the left to the right. It's an incredible work of art here. It is a bit of a copy and a paste in the way of the engineering with the transformation from its classic counterpart from way back when, but it's done in a more modern touch, which it definitely feels a bit unique in its own right. Such an incredible figure to look at, and all around just beautiful work of art here. Incredible work. This definitely feels like it's on quality with Masterpiece, even though you're not paying a high price for it, and it is pretty small when compared to a Masterpiece Starscream figure. Let's see if we can get a look at that head sculpt here, because the face is very impressive. The only thing that's really missing on it is some light piping. I would have appreciated if they could have done that, but oh well, we got it with the Siege Starscream figure, so it's no need to really complain about it now. At least it is something that still does exist in a very small faction at this point. Here's a good look at the chest section, which definitely has this blocky look from its Generation 1 cartoon counterpart. A good look at the sculpting on the forearms, which is pretty nice. And down below to the legs here, there is so much detail going on here. It is crazy with the amount of sculpting that went into the execution on this figure's mold. I am loving it. But again, the only real nitpick going on is, like I said earlier, the Decepticon logos on the wings of the jet are in fact upside down when in robot mode, which is a bit of a disappointment. I really wish that this was flipped the other way around. As you can also see, we do have a little bit of some thin plastic going on here, as my finger is showing in the back, as you can see. And here's a good look at the back section of the wings, which does have some impressive detail on its own rights too, with also some multiple ports here where you can apply the null ray cannons if you want. And yes, the obvious cockpit section of the jet, which is just hanging out in the back, just like the Classics figure, only it doesn't get in the way of the articulation. And speaking of articulation, we do have a ball joint at the head for the figure. We've got some hinges at the shoulders, which are on tight joints. We also have a swivel cut here, so you can get a full 360 rotation if the wings weren't there. Do have a bicep swivel cut, single jointed elbows that does get a little bit more than 9 degrees. There's a hinge joint for up and down movement at the hands, but there's no rotation involved. There is nothing at the waist due to the engineering on the figure. The crotch piece section can move up and down, and it gets out of the way for the leg articulation, which the legs can get this much kicking forward, and not much going back because it's hitting the butt piece. And due to hindrance, we can't get a full JCVD split, but it's not that bad. We do have a thigh swivel cut. The figure has single jointed knees that does get at least 9 degrees of bend. There's toe articulation, as you can see. Even the heel spurs move back and forth. And yes, it can be annoying at times when the tail fins move with the heels. And finally, we do have some lovely ankle rocker movement. Let's do a side-by-side comparisons with the figure that everybody's been anticipating since this one was announced, and that is his Siege counterpart. And yes, this figure is unique in its own rights. It's given us our very first Cybertronian mode for Starscream, that they both share the same height. They are not the same molds, which is an obvious thing here. But above all, I still love the battle damage that's going on here with the Siege figures, which I wish was actually carried over with the Earthrise figures, but I understand it wasn't something that fans really appreciated, so Hasbro made the right decision to remove it, and I'm fine with that. And here's a good look at the side profile for both figures. And here's a look at the back of both figures, and as you can see, this looks pretty clean, where this looks like it's a bit of a mess going on here, but again, it's a unique design, so I'm fine with it. And here they both are one more time, straightforward. Last thing that I do want to mention is for the robot mode, there is a place to peg in a flight stand, where it's right here in the back at the butt section for Starscream. You just peg it right in like so, and you can pull off some very nice flying poses as he's battling some Autobots from the sky above, or getting ready to attack them from up above, and they're down below getting ready to be blown away. So you can do that kind of stuff, which is pretty nice for like Photoshop. And that's gonna wrap it up for Earthrise Starscream. Feel free to leave your comments down below. Your opinions are your own, just remember that. And if you enjoyed today's video review, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to give me a sub up. If you didn't enjoy it, well, hit the thumbs down. Don't forget to throw in the towel. And until next time, my friends, this is your unprofessional toy reviewer, Redis Power, sign off saying thank you very much for watching this regardless, and I will see you whenever you see me.